Good morning to Miss Gloria and my fellow classmates. A research has been conducted by both of us, Chen Jun Chuan and Terence Tan Jun Yu, and we are here to present our research.
Before we introduce the research topic, I would like to give a short story about myself. Dated back to 2011, during my primary school times, I was a lazy kid where I wanted to sleep more before waking up to attend school. Therefore, I frequently skipped breakfast in order to have more sleep. This has caused me to lose focus and concentration in class as my stomach rumbles while I try to ignore the fact that I am hungry. Sometimes I felt fatigued and always will want to sleep in class, which causes me to miss classes and sometimes being punished by teacher.
So therefore, this short story has inspired us to conduct this research topic where we want to find out the correlation between the eating habits and the performance of the students, where we want to get a better insight into it.
In this modern era of globalization, students have prioritized more on their education rather than their eating habits. The reason they do so is to compete in the higher level of education, where students want to achieve the best they can do. Therefore, many students have neglected the importance of eating habits.
So what are the eating habits that are being neglected? For example, skipping meals. Students tend to skip meals because they want to focus more on their studies or finish their assignments. In relation, students will usually finish their assignments and end up eating very late. Therefore, supper has been introduced into their eating order. This has caused them to have irregular mealtime. Other than that, students will take the incorrect intake of the food sources, such as eating fast food and instant noodle, as this type of food can be cooked easily and delivered in front of them faster. These bad habits have impacted heavily on their performance while studying. So this problem has been conducted by many past researchers, where the studies shows the students who eat unhealthily perform bad in exams.
The problem stated has brought many questions into our research. A total of 4 research questions had us wondered regarding the problem. First, what type of food do students consume nowadays? Second, what type of eating habits have been practiced by students nowadays? Third, how is the performance of students? And lastly, how does eating habits affect the performance of students? So, how do we answer those research questions? Let us move on into the methodology of this research.
Obviously, when there is a research, there will be participants. So therefore, the participants of the research are students. The students came from various types of college and university, such as Sunway College, Sunway University, KDU University, Taylor's University, Help University, Curtin University, and Monash University. And there are a total of 25 students who participate in our research.
Okay, pass. Okay. Oh, 你知道吗 ？Okay. 没有啊，这里。3、2、1 ，Go. So, why did we choose students as our participants? First of all, the responding variable for our research is to find out the performance of students. During this pandemic, the better choice of sampling is to do convenience sampling, where students were invited through a link to answer a survey questionnaire that we shared among our friends group on social media. It is also convenient as our friends group are students who suited our research. Last but not least, as students are growing up, food plays an important role in their academic life in order to achieve the highest performance.
How did we measure to obtain the results that we desire? The method that we use to conduct the research is quantitative research method. A survey questionnaire is being used for us to obtain the required data. The survey questionnaire is being self-developed by both of us using Google Forms. The link of the Google Forms was then being generated, and the link containing the survey questionnaires were being sent out through social media. So after a period of 4 days, a total of 25 respondents were collected.
After confirming the number of respondents required, we then start to interpret the results. The results from respondents were shown using pie charts and bar charts from Google Forms, as well as the number and percentages. We then write a short brief explanation in paragraphs from every data given. What did we find out in order to answer the research questions? For the first research question, which is what type of food do students consume nowadays? From the survey, where we asked what do the respondents eat during breakfast and lunch, we found out that the majority of students like to eat carbohydrates like rice and noodles, and majority of the students also consume food that are considered healthy, like protein, liquids, and sugar. Surprisingly, a few students only eat fast food. The data provided had given positive support to our first research question.
So, from the data provided from the questionnaire, when we asked whether they eat breakfast and lunch, and the majority of the students do eat their breakfast and lunch. We even go to the extent where we ask how often do they eat their breakfast in a week. So majority of the students eat their breakfast every day in a week. However, some respondents do skip their breakfast. In addition, we also ask how many meals do they eat. From the data provided, the majority of the students eat 2 to 4 meals in a day, which is the ideal number of the meals eaten in a day. The data provided answers and the research question, which is what type of eating habits has been practiced by students nowadays. So where the majority do not skip their meals.
For the third research question, which is how is the performance of students? From the survey questionnaire, we asked the respondents on how well they focus in class, do they feel lethargic halfway throughout class, and do they take a nap after classes? The data shows that the majority of the respondents are somewhat performing, as the majority can focus well for a moment. Sometimes they feel lethargic and they seldom take naps after classes. Data obtained have given a positive support to our third research question.
So for the last research question, after going through the data individually, most respondents do take their meals consistently. Therefore, most students will still have energy left to do any class curricular after class. Most students also feel that they have accomplished what they have to do in a day. According to the graph, it has shown that the majority of the students do have sufficient sleep, which is 6 to 8 hours. Most students also feel that they have more than 5 energy levels after the end of the day. The data obtained shows that having a balanced diet can actually sustain the energy level of the student and help students to have sufficient sleep. After we answer the research question, this brings us to the conclusion of the research. The conclusion of the research shows that there is a positive correlation between the eating habits and the performance of students. Students who do not skip meals and eat regularly tend to perform better, while students who do skip meals and eat irregularly tend to perform poorer. So, one of the contributing factors that cannot be neglected is sleeping habit, as this also contributes to the performance of the students.
We hope that students will start to be more aware of their eating habits, as it can help to boost their performance and also help them to maintain a balanced academic lifestyle and healthy lifestyle. From this research, both of us learned that teamwork makes the dream work, as we can't complete the research paper without helping each other. Other than that, physical interaction is important in order to obtain the best possible results or data for the research. The chemistry within a group must be high, as it can smoothen the whole process of the research. Lastly, research can give a better insight towards the problem that we face in society.
So, thank you.
Thank you. This is the end for our presentation. Signing off, Chedjuan, and
Terence Tan.
let's go.